You know that metaphor about men are from Mars and women are from Venus? Well, it sure made for a catchy title to a book. And it also probably helped sell millions of copies of that book because that metaphor supports the long-held belief that men and women are polar opposites. And that belief, those attitudes about men and women, the thoughts and feelings that go behind all of that, have helped cause a rift between men and women in relationships and a rift between men and women in society. So the topic that I'm going to focus on today is healing the rift between men and women. The name of this show is Living Wisdom, and I'm Patty Paul. There was a time in the world's history, going back 10, 20, 30,000 years, and archaeological evidence supports this knowledge that there were pockets of society. There were small cultures where people lived in harmony. Men and women were seen as equals. There was no discrimination against age or sex or any other kind. These were very spiritual people, agricultural people, and they lived in harmony. Again, archaeological evidence that began being gathered in the 1970s brought a picture of what these people lived like. And then the same archaeological evidence showed that about 43 to 4400 BC, everything began to change. Invaders on horseback from southern Russia swept into Central Europe and began to change these once peace-loving societies. And as the societies began to change, they migrated and infiltrated the Middle Eastern area, Mediterranean areas, and other areas of that part of the world. And a shift occurred. Men became dominant. They were the ones, after all, who had the physical strength to domesticate the horses that brought them down into these new areas. And there were two more invasions from the southern Russia area over the next 1400 years. And everything changed during those times. Over a period of about 3,500 years, men began to dominate everything. It was a shift in consciousness where male superiority reigned supreme and patriarchal civilizations arose one after another following that big shift. As the patriarchy remained and continued, it got twisted and distorted into male chauvinism. Now, we've all had many, many lifetimes, thousands of lifetimes, and about half of those we were men, and about half of the others we were women. So we all participated in this grand shift in consciousness towards male domination. As that occurred, everything masculine was overvalued and anything feminine was devalued. And that included women, of course, and feelings and compassion and understanding those feminine energies that are not just limited to women, but because they are feminine, they were deemed inferior and weak. And so men began to let go of those inner qualities that they had. The result is this world that we live in today that is reigned by domination and control and the violence that ensues to support that. To be more specific about feminine and masculine energy, I'm going to refer to a chapter in the book that I wrote. My book is called A New Spirituality Beyond Religion, and it's available in libraries and other places. And in one chapter, I talk about what exactly are feminine energies and masculine energies. And these basic energies have nothing to do with sex, nothing to do with gender. These energies are available to both men and women. But in a chauvinistic society, as we've had for so many centuries, the feminine has been downgraded, and men have been left rather like in a desert without these beautiful feminine qualities as part of their makeup. So feminine energies, the principles of feminine energy. Imagination and desire. And masculine energy, will and action. Feelings. And feelings, fear, anger, love, compassion, empathy, hatred, rage, joy, happiness, those are feelings. And as I said, because feelings themselves are a feminine energy, they've been deemed inferior. And so especially men have not been allowed to express those feelings. Maybe rage, maybe anger, and a little happiness once in a while. Compassion, no. Feminine energy has the ability to conceive and perceive. Conceive, create new. In the chauvinist society, men said, okay, women, you can conceive, but not to create anything for society. You can create children, and that's how you'll be creative and productive. You can conceive our children. And so women in that way were limited for so long. Creating form. Form. Government structures, religions, military hierarchical structures, that's form. Rules and regulations, that's form. and out of the form, creating new form. And doing. These are the kinds of energies that when they work together in balance and harmony, first beginning with imagination and desire, and then bringing in will and action, feeling your feelings, thinking, using intellect. Out of that you can create whatever you want. Create success, create harmony, create peace, create a painting, and bring in the qualities of nurturing and caring, and then create new forms, and be in a state of being a loving person, being compassionate, being generous, and doing, getting things done. But in a chauvinist society like we've had for centuries and centuries, these things were all devalued. So men focused on will and action, thinking, creating the forms, creating the establishments and institutions, creating governments. And because they didn't have this kind of conceiving creativity, they just created repetitions of the existing forms. So what was newly created was really a repetition of what had been. And that has kept us in kind of a stagnant place. And in masculine energy, in patriarchy, in a chauvinist society, it's all about doing. What's that Nike slogan? Just do it. Nobody says just be it. Nobody says be it and do it. And in a chauvinist society, appearance and performance are everything. Competition and comparison are everything. Too much value put on those. It's not that those qualities have no value. It's just when they are overly emphasized. Things are changing. People are changing. There's a tremendous shift in consciousness that's taking place nowadays and has been for perhaps the last 100 years. We're right in the midst of it right now, where feminine energies people are becoming more aware of the value in them. But there are still places in the world where it's clearly male-dominated, chauvinistically dominated. And what happens when, in a society that's out of balance like this, masculine energy, chauvinist energy gets stuck in a place of adolescence. Now, that adolescent period is normal and valuable from the ages of about, 12 to 19. But we have men, and of course women, who get stuck in this place. And in adolescence, everything is either black or white. And there is no room for compassion and understanding, because an adolescent who actually is in those years, believes that they know everything and that they are right. And that energy, when it's held by adults, it's the same. It's either my way or no way. And also in an adolescent energy, there's a lot of confusion about what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman. Because in adolescence, why those hormones are raging. And so adolescence is all about a powerful sexual energy. And that is confused with real love. Real love, which is a state of being and also doing certain things that are loving. So if we have a vast population throughout the world of men and women who are stuck in this adolescent period or adolescent stage where sex is seen as what love is, erroneously, where black and white differences are valued, where people think that they know the truth, and therefore anyone who doesn't believe the same is wrong. That causes for a great dysfunction in society, and certainly dysfunction in personal relationships. Now, as I said earlier, we all participated in the creation of a world that's based on masculine energy as the superior energy. How long have we been saying it's a man's world? We all participated, and there was a choice made by the feminine population long ago. This was a subconscious choice. And the choice is made in lifetime after lifetime, in relationship after relationship, where women voluntarily gave away their power to men in exchange for being taken care of. Being taken care of financially, emotionally, being taken care of by being given safety and security, being taken care of sexually. So women have created this in that way. And in exchange for the big giveaway of power, women said, okay, you guys, you take care of us. So men have been given the job of creating the world, creating all of the governments, creating society and all of the establishments in society in exchange for taking care of women. Now, what happened with that is, and of course what I'm talking about are the big picture here. If you're sitting at home thinking, well, that's not how my life is going, that's not how my relationship is going, of course, we all make choices, and we have the right to change things at any time. But in general, I'm talking about generalities, and these general concepts have had impact and are still having impact now. So what happens when men now are given the responsibility for running things, and women are the ones who are being taken care of? There are general feelings in the masculine with men. of being overburdened. You know that old midlife crisis thing. The guy's gone to college, he's chosen a career, usually the career that his father thought he should do, worked hard, long hours, and then about 40, 45, 50, he looks in the mirror one day and he says, "Ha, what happened to my life? What happened to the fun and all this success and freedom I was supposed to feel?" Overburdened. And then some self-pity comes in here too. And then some anger. And of course, who's a man going to be angry at? The women who wanted to be taken care of. And then on the feminine side, on the woman's side of this equation, she gave all of her power, that's supposed to be a P, power, to the man in her life, to the men in her life, to the governments that are run by men, to the corporate executives who usually are all men, to the military upper echelon, those men. So here she is sitting at home, feeling powerless, and she feels unappreciated. Well, that's an abbreviation. Unappreciated. She's not happy. When she hooked up with this guy, whether she married him or not, he was supposed to make her happy. Didn't happen. So then she's starting to feel self-pity and who am I? I don't have a life of my own. Here I am sitting at home raising this guy's kids. I have this longing and urge inside of me to be creative and productive, and what do I get to do? I get to create this guy's kids and take care of them. That's supposed to be my whole life. So when women hit about 30, 35, 40, they look in the mirror and say, what happened to my life? Who am I? I don't even have a life. I'm not a person. So the answer is we don't have to wait until everybody else starts balancing and harmonizing these energies. We don't have to wait for that critical mass of 51% to bring about a big change in the world. Oh, no, no, no. It all can happen in here. Whenever we decide to find out what these pieces are that have been missing and to bring them forth in ourselves, to harmonize and to balance them within ourselves, we will have new kinds of relationships in our personal life. We will have a new kind of society where there is an equal partnership between men and women. You can read more about it in my book, and there are other books. Thank you for paying attention.